There you go.
What is up, you guys? Back to
Welcome to
back potties.
NonSense FC.
As you can see, I got the world back here because today we're gonna quickly talk about
Women's World Cup.
those games are too early for me to watch.
Not all of them though.
There's
So
only one game at
I
8 p.m. or 11 p.m. during the day. Like you still miss two games.
think it's 7:30 or something like that, the earliest game, which is kind of a weird schedule though, because then the other game is like one game at 7:30, and then the rest of the games are like 12 or 2 in the morning. Like
Yeah, 4
very,
a.m.,
very
3
strange.
a.m.
Yeah. But I guess they're ahead of us by
No,
like
yeah,
hella hours.
they're completely ahead of us, but I did read that the New Zealand game, which hosts the World Cup, uh the capacity was 76,000. The attendance, sorry, attendance was 76,000.
Damn, that's crazy. Did I ever tell you that I went to the final game in Vancouver when the women beat Japan?
When Carly Lloyd scored from half field,
Yes, I was
you
there.
you went to the game?
Yeah, I was there. It
Oh
was a good
shit!
game.
Why didn't you
I
invite
felt
me?
very bad though because there was this Japanese lady who was like dressed up in like very traditional clothing, and she
Uh-huh.
was so excited before the game. Like we took pictures with her, like like it was a good atmosphere. And then the US started like whooping on Japan. And it was like all her happiness just turned into sadness. And I just like felt extremely bad. I was like, I wish like we would have won, but not like 7-1. You know what I mean? Like that's just like pure agony for her. Kind of like when Brazil got beat by Germany in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like it's just like just stop it. Please stop, you know?
Oh
We
man, that
give up.
sucks.
But it was a good game though. It was a good experience too. Canada was cool.
Since you brought up the World Cup, and we all obviously know how successful the U.S. women's national team has been in the last three World Cups. So I would say like
Yes.
a time frame of maybe 10 years.
Yeah, they've been pretty successful the last. I mean, didn't they win the last two World Cups?
I don't think they've ever been unsuccessful because they've always dominated CONCACAF. They've
Easily.
they've done well in World Cups. I mean, we can remember the infamous Sports Illustrated cover with Brandy Chastain lifting up her bra. Lifting up her jersey in the PKs.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Was it Brandy Chastain? I
I
hope
don't
it
know what her
is.
name is.
I
I,
might have got it wrong, but
I can't remember
um,
her name.
I mean that team was stacked with Mia
Yeah,
Hamm.
they've always been stacked. You know what's kind of funny is that
You ever watch Air Bud World Pups?
no, not I've watched Air Bud, but not World Pups.
Same thing, but Brianna Scurry, who was a goalkeeper in that on that
She
team,
plays she
she made
cameos in there.
she makes a cameo at the end when they take Buddy to the World Cup.
No, I haven't watched that. Uh Real quick though, what do you predict for the World Cup? I mean, like USA are the favorites to win it, and I wouldn't put it past them. I think the only teams that really give them competition are probably Japan, England,
Brazil.
France. Oh, and Brazil. Although Brazil is good, but I feel like they never get it done.
I
At
feel like
least the
this is
women's. The women's
I feel like this is their last World Cup
before
with
they
all,
go through a restructure.
yeah, because I mean Marta's 75 years old. Um,
It's pretty old.
yeah, they're all making their last appearance. It's funny how we were coming on here to talk about MLS Allstar, but
Oh, we can talk
uh,
about that next though, so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
no, it's fine. I don't know. I'm pulling for an upset. Not that I'm tired of the U.S. winning.
But I would like to see more competition in the tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
just so you can at least say like, oh, the level of play in the women's sport is growing.
Yeah, it's
All you know,
increasing. Like it's not one team wins it all or one team is always the favorite, It's like
yeah.
always keeps you on your toes.
I mean, and to be quite honest, although USA is a favorite, they're favorites because of the champions. They're not favorites because they have the better players. I mean, there's a lot of great players on different teams. New Zealand, Australia, uh,
Yeah.
you
I
mentioned
would say
Italy,
though that the
Brazil.
U.S. probably has a lot of talent on that team. You know, they're
Yeah,
not.
I
It's
mean
a fully stacked team.
Spain has most of their Barca players on there. They've won back to back Champions Leagues. So
Real quick, real quick. I have a hypothetical. If you're a woman and you're a professional ball player, would you rather play in the U.S. because the U.S. league is really good, or would you rather play in Europe where you could play Women's Champions League?
I was actually gonna go that route. How do you feel about? Sorry, I'm not gonna answer your question first, but can the men's league, even on the national stage, take from what the women have done? Because, like you said, the infrastructure that the league has in what is it, WSL, W something,
Yeah, yeah.
WMSL or something.
They produce a lot of talent.
I mean, they have like the youngest female at 15 who scored a goal. Um, I know LA. I think LA City Angels is the LA team. They
Mhm.
had like a girl who's still in high school who's balling. I want to say she's going to the World Cup, but I'm not. I'm not quite sure.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't keep up with it that much. Although I should. I probably should pay more attention to it. But
I would say that the sport is growing in different leagues. I think the U.S. league is one of the best.
yes,
I mean, top five, sitting at three, and I would probably put them behind like England
the
and Spain.
premier. Yeah, I don't know about Spain though. I don't know how competitive. Although they do always make the Real Madrid and the Barcelona girls always make like almost the finals of the Champions League. Like they're always in the hunt at least. So maybe you're possibly right. They probably do have a very competitive league over there. I would say this though, if I'm a girl, I would want to play in Europe because I feel like there's more competition over there. More and the Champions, like who doesn't want to win the Champions League? Like that's like the ultimate dream.
But I feel like if okay, so to answer your question, if hypothetically I was a woman or even a teenager with aspirations of playing professional soccer,
Mm-hmm.
I would choose to play at home in front of friends and family or
Uh-huh.
wherever I go. You're still comfortable because you're young, right?
Yeah.
We've seen it in the men's perspective where they've gone at a young age to Europe and they've come back because it
It
what
don't
they
work out.
it didn't work out right. So you play in a good league, great infrastructure. I mean, I don't want to get into pay or anything, but you're getting paid to play. Eventually, you can aspire to go into Europe, and I believe you can. There's a lot of women from the U.S. national team that have gone on to play in Europe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense.
I wouldn't say it's
Um,
I wouldn't say it's easier to make that jump. I would just say that the door is already open
yeah, well, there's definitely a possibility for the women
for sure.
to make that jump.
Who
Easy.
are
I
you?
want to say the opportunity is probably a lot easier for them than it is for the men in the MLS to make the jump, I think.
Who are you cheering for in this World Cup? Do you want to see an upset or
Uh I do. Like, obviously I'm gonna root for the USA, but usually in this tournament, I go with a team that I feel like obviously USA is my team, but if I find a team that I'm like, man, like they show hella heart and like, like I feel like they're the underdogs, then I root for the underdog as well. So TBD, I gotta determine what
to be
team. You know what I
determined?
mean?
Since
Yeah,
since
TB.
since we are talking about the Women's World Cup, I think it's only fair that we give our audience some context. It started today with New Zealand hosting and opening up against Norway. They get a 1-0 dub. And
And I think that's a big win because I think the Norway women are like very good actually, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken. They're a pretty good team. So that's like a big upset, I think.
I think there's teams in the World Cup that obviously make it because of the region. Like I would say Vietnam, who plays the U.S. tomorrow. Um, but
Yeah, which
Nigeria,
I don't.
Nigeria has a really good team. I think they've made it to quarterfinals multiple times. Canada, uh,
Real
Switzerland.
quick, is Mexico in there?
I want to say Mexico is in the World Cup.
I'm always disappointed in the
You know what?
Mexican team. I
Mexico
feel
has
like
to be in the World Cup because they dropped the jersey for them.
They did. You're right.
But that doesn't,
Uh,
I mean, that doesn't mean they have to, but let me check the standings, see if there are any.
I'm hoping that they play well though, because
Mexico is not in the World Cup.
oh, they're not.
No. So just quickly, we
Wow.
have in Group A, New Zealand, Philippines, Switzerland, Norway. Today, New Zealand got 3 points. Um, there's another game going on today from that group, which I believe is going to be Switzerland and Philippines. In Group B, we have Australia, Canada, Nigeria, and the Republic of Ireland. Australia played today, got a 3-0, no, sorry, a 1-0.
Oh, the Panama women are in the
Panama.
tournament
Yeah.
instead. Wow.
Group C, Costa Rica, Japan, Spain, Zambia. Group D, China, Denmark, England, Haiti. Group E is Netherlands, Portugal, United States, and Vietnam. That's a wonderful group.
That is I mean, Vietnam, I'm sorry to, Patito failed,
It's a competitive group, though.
but that's a competitive group. Yeah, that sounds like a
Oh, this is a
competitive
good
group.
one, too. Group F, Brazil, France, Jamaica, and
France.
Panama.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Group G doesn't disappoint either. Argentina, Italy, South Africa, and Sweden.
Yeah, that's it sounds pretty competitive. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and finish it off with Group H, which is Colombia, Germany, South Korea, and Morocco.
That's an interesting group as well. I'm gonna try to watch as many games as I can. I know it's gonna be a little difficult though with the time.
Yeah, today we have 2 games left. Nigeria versus Canada at 8:30 p.m. if anyone is interested in watching. Philippines versus Switzerland at 11 p.m. And that is mountain time because I'm in Texas. So you guys are going to get it a little bit earlier, an hour
Yeah, a little
earlier.
yeah, if you're in the Pacific time like me.
Yeah, so 7:30 for you guys on the West Coast and 10 p.m. I guess you guys can watch 2 games and call it a night if you don't have to be up at 5 in the morning.
Yo, well, actually, today's my Friday, so I can be up as late as I want.
Oh, you gonna have some junk
Shut,
food? You gonna have some junk food?
nah, I'm gonna have some bourbon later tonight.
Oh, speaking of bourbon, I
Top,
haven't opened that bottle back there.
we can open it later.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect time to pivot though. And we had a initially we were gonna talk. This was the first subject we wanted to talk about,
Well,
but
let me cut you off there. Sorry. Let's go on to our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about MLS Allstar game and give your thoughts, reactions, and maybe how we can improve or how we think this can improve. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. Catch you there. All right, go ahead.
should we just start like nothing happened?
Yeah, just say welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome
Yeah.
back from the break.
Welcome back to NonSense FC. We are back from the break, and we're talking a little MLS, MLS
A
All
lot of
Star game.
MLS.
I know. For the people who don't know,
I found it
let me
very
just throw it out.
interesting. Sorry, I found it very interesting that you wanted to talk about this.
I just thought, like, damn. For the people who didn't watch it, MLS All Stars versus Arsenal. Preseason Arsenal because they're not in form, not in season. Probably trained for like 2 or 3 weeks at most. But Arsenal wins 5-0, which was a complete ass whipping, if you ask me.
Shout out to my uncle. He texted me. He said 3-2 MLS, and I texted him back, and I said 3 + 2 = 5. Arsenal.
What was funny? Somebody asked me if they should bet on the game, and I was like, I would. Like, obviously, I feel like Arsenal's gonna win, but the only thing is, I was like, it's a preseason game, so like, if they decide to just like put in all their like youth talent in second half, and like none of their stars, I'm like, then what? Like, like then the all stars have a chance, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't. They had basically like two superstar teams, and they just completely whooped ass. If you didn't watch the game, it was 5-0, 5,
Yeah.
5-0. Jesus. And these are the all-stars, the best, the best, the best, the best.
I will
Terrible.
say this. I don't think, and I meant to do a little bit of research on this. I don't know how the MLS picked their roster. I'm not sure if it was fan voting again.
Or if it
Uh,
was Wayne Rooney. I
or
heard
if it,
something about Wayne Rooney picking the players or something like
yeah,
that.
and even if he did, I mean, he went with
Benteke.
Benteke up top, who had a horrible 30 minutes on the field. Honestly, I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna tell me I sound repetitive, but the only player that seemed up to
Oh,
par,
I know. Yep, Ricky
Puig. Puig.
Puig. I can't say that Catalan guy.
How do you feel about that statement there? I mean, what are your thoughts of the overall first half or 30 minutes from the Allstars?
It was just the total dominance by Arsenal. It looked like they were just out there like, let's go scrimmage with these losers. Let me did the first couple goals. I was like, damn, like you just put them away.
Well,
It makes sense though that Ricky Pug is like the only one keeping up though, because yeah, I mean he has the experience of playing against these high level teams, right? Like it's not that I personally don't think he's that great of a player. He probably could have played in Europe. I'm not saying he can't play in Europe, but I mean, does he fit in Barcelona? Probably not, right? Like they obviously want higher talent, but he could have probably easily made any of the other 30-ish teams in La Liga. Um, Taylor Tillsman was bragging and boasting about one player in particular
you watched it in
who
English?
just yeah, I watched some of it in English and I watched some of it in Spanish, but he was like, yeah, he's having a phenomenal season, gives up a PK, just like gets ate up on the field. I was like, that man is, and that is why a phenomenal season in the MLS does not translate to a good player. You know what I mean?
I
It was
agree.
just like, it was just like, I don't know, man. You can have a good season, but
Was he talking about
uh,
Zimmerman?
no, he was talking about a guy who plays. He gave up the PK in the beginning of the second half.
Oh,
I forget.
Glesnes, number 3.
So, no,
The
let me
blonde the
see.
blonde guy with like the mullet.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. Um, all Arsenal players. Come on, man. Show me the other players. Did Hector Herrera play? I didn't even see him play.
He did. He came on. I want to say he came in like 15 minutes for the game to end. I personally thought that Wayne Rooney got his starting lineup wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, easily,
And
but I mean,
I don't even know I don't even know how they picked Wayne Rooney as a coach because DC United isn't doing that
that
well,
well, yeah.
right? So maybe because it was his home stadium, that's how they went about it. But um, here's gonna be something that's never gonna come out of my mouth ever again. But if I'm Wayne Rooney, I'm starting Miazga and Zimmerman at center back based on chemistry. That's the only thing, right? Because if you notice in the first goal where Gabriel Jesus se cagó, Zimmerman attacks him, heels flat, legs open, and just commits. So the pass to Gabriel Jesus is basically a nutmeg, and then he strikes it into the top
Yeah,
ankle, right?
yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I think he got it right with Hollingshead on the right hand side and Buanga because they're LAFC players. Um, I was very surprised that Carrasquilla was not named an All Star.
Carrasquilla is the guy who plays for Panama.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm very surprised. He should
very
have
surprised he didn't do
for
that.
sure been in there.
Yeah, I think they could have done a lot better. Not saying that they weren't going to lose 5-0, but I would say that it wouldn't have been 2-0 in the first 20 minutes of the game. That's just my
Yeah.
thought.
Did you
But
see Leonardo Trossard's goal? I thought I was like, wow. Like he made it look so simple, like just like a simple cutback and shoot, and then the defender like gets upset afterwards, and I was like, man, you suck. That's all your fault. Like He just
they just commit and bite to everything.
yeah, which is kind of strange because I'm like,
Did
have you
you?
never played anybody with talent? Like, like obviously they fake, right? Like, they don't always do what you think they're gonna do.
Yeah, it makes you think like what's going on in these training sessions? Are you not teaching them how to not? Have you seen the video of Pep Guardiola and Fast Dude?
Dembele.
No, on Man City, Man City.
Oh, Kyle
Walker.
Walker. Yeah.
There's a video of Pep Guardiola at training
Mm-hmm.
teaching Kyle Walker how to turn his body so that he doesn't give up time
Angles.
and angles, right? I don't know if you've seen that
Yeah.
one.
I think I have. I think I have.
To my point is I don't think that's going on in MLS because all these players bite and they turn the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, like they commit their whole bodies, like you step into it, you don't win the ball, and then like you turn your whole body the wrong. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying
Like
though.
if I'm running, I mean, I'm obviously I can't show you, but if I'm running this way and he cuts back on me, I'm not gonna turn my whole body to come back to the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
Yeah, it was just a poor performance from them though. I just thought that I don't even think they were in the game at all at
I
any
mean,
point.
the only argument you can make is most of these players haven't played together. Most of these players were offensive players. Nobody was really defending. Okay, I get that part, but you're a professional soccer player making millions. You should ask your teammate, hey, where do you like the ball? You like it ahead of you? All right, say less. I'm going to put it ahead of you.
I will say this too. I think it's too many all-stars on the team, and they should probably cut down to make it like 18, 19 players tops. That way, it's like it's only you guys. You guys need to win the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just me personally, though.
it was about 30
They did
players
like,
on the team.
yeah, like it's way too many. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
If I
don't
can
know.
count
That's
them
just me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Do
12.
you think? Do you think this display though shows the dominance of the Premier League versus MLS?
Duh.
Get me too. I think it shows
Ask me a better
their
question.
um
No, there's not many teams, if there is one in the MLS, that can go and have a preseason. See, that's what I would like the MLS to do is go and have a preseason in Europe.
they'd
I'm not,
get beat by everybody though.
but I'm not saying play Real Madrid, Arsenal, City, Barcelona.
You're saying go play Leeds, Everton,
Exactly.
Nottingham Forest.
Go get yourself some
I
exposure because those teams are going to give you a wake up call.
Yeah, I don't think they can keep up with those teams. I don't even think they could beat Fulham. And Fulham
No,
has been in the Premier League like 1 or 2 years.
bro.
Obviously they've played before that, but they just moved up recently. But yeah, I think these teams will get exposed, and they get exposed by Liga MX teams all the time, which is
That
just
was actually trending on Twitter that the MX MLS game last year was better and it promoted both leagues.
oh yeah, because they both had all stars, right?
Yeah. And then what's a goalkeeper's name from Arsenal? Ramsdale.
Yeah.
They're doing the pregame ceremonies, the
Oh
flying
yeah,
of
and he saw the Jets flying. He was like, "What the hell?"
he's like, what the hell? But also during the anthem, he's just like smiling, kind of laughing. Because it is an American thing to do, right? And
Yeah,
they're kind of like,
I, I mean, I will say this though: the English still care about the Queen a whole lot. That's
yeah,
you ask us, and we're like, man, fuck the Queen. I mean, like
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to the Queen. But
R.I.P. to the Queen.
but like she not my queen, you know what I mean?
Who, Beyonce?
Yeah. That's the only queen I know.
It's the only
Uh,
queen I know. But I get it. And André Pierre Gignac from Tigre said it best. The MLS is about marketing. They do a great job in marketing, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Until the league actually strives for talent and being like the most competitive league, it's hard to see that league get better.
Here's how good they do at marketing. Be right back.
Where'd he go? What does that mean? You bought a ball? Or
I
what is
bought the
that?
MLS All-Star ball.
Oh, did you really? Why?
Oh man, you can't see it.
You can't see it. Why'd you buy a ball? The MLS one out of all
It's
things.
it's a Marvel. It's a Marvel ball.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You didn't catch that yesterday?
No, I did it. I didn't even look at the ball.
Hold on, let me see. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it. It
You
looked pretty
got
cool.
the Thanos thing.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
nice.
$160 to the garbage because
Ooh.
probably gonna lose it in my next Sunday league game.
Yes. Send it to me instead, bro, so I can use it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like they're good at marketing, right?
Yeah, they are. I
You
mean,
look at
look what they did with Messi, right?
yeah, and you look at the stadium yesterday. Nobody was wearing MLS All Star gear. They were
Yeah, it
all in
was
Arsenal
all.
gear.
Yeah. I mean, let's just be realistic. Everybody wants to see Arsenal. They don't want to see the MLS people.
Yeah, if I can move past the game because there's not really much we can dissect on like what happened.
Yeah, other than they got beat pretty bad. That was about it. That's all we
Okay,
can say about it.
because I like to talk smack about Ferreira. There was in the second half a pass given to him.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like a shot where he couldn't control it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching in Spanish, so they said, "Oh, that was a bad pass to Ferreira. We can't blame him. Whatever, blah blah blah." Minutes after, a similar pass was given to Bolonga.
And he controlled it.
He controlled it, passed it back, and then the play continued. And I was like, "Come on now, why
Yeah,
don't
I definitely think there's a big difference in technical qualities in these players, right? Like,
yeah, there's
it's
a lot
just
of negative things you can say about the quality, maybe the coaching, maybe the players, scouting. You can do all that, right? Did I enjoy watching the game? Of course I did. Why not watch MLS All Stars get spanked into reality? But if you watch the skills challenge and yesterday, would you change anything? What would you like to see in the next All Star game?
I'm not really a big fan of the skills game, to be honest with you. Like hitting the crossbar, don't do it for me. Putting it in the little, like the holes where
The
one is worth
bins?
20. Yeah, I think it's kind of, I mean, like it's cool or whatever. And then the goalie one where they're just throwing the ball at each other. I'm like, okay. It's not really exciting to me, but I think what might be more exciting if it's like they had like a 5-on-5 type of game, like a small sided game where they got to be a lot more technical. I think that'd be pretty interesting. You know what I mean? Like
Like futsal.
yeah, well, not futsal, but you know how we play Friday nights like that. Like a smaller field, and it's a lot more intense, a lot more fast paced, right? Like that'd be interesting to kind of watch, like kind of like the Kings League or whatever the hell it's called, something like that.
Kings League.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. Something like that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you've seen it, but I sent it to you. They're actually expanding the Kings League.
No, I didn't see it.
So now it's in 2024, it's gonna be hosted in Mexico City, but there's gonna be teams from the US, Mexico, and South America, except Brazil. I'm not sure why not Brazil, but maybe because they're so good at AV8 or 5v5.
Yeah, they don't want the smoke.
But yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I agree with you. I would like to, if we're talking about challenges specifically, I would like to see, how in basketball they dribble and then they pass it in the little circle.
Yeah.
I would like a little bit more of that. So maybe
Nah.
running through some cones, shooting it upper V, that takes a lot of time. So I'm just gonna cut it short. Free
Yeah.
kicks, free kick challenge.
Yeah. I would love to see a free kick challenge. Honestly, that'd be pretty kind of like a 3-point contest where you do the whole circle, right? Like
Yeah,
the
5 balls
box.
at each station.
Yeah. And you hit the free kicks and
Right,
like, all right,
exactly.
let's see what you got.
And then maybe you can do a PK challenge where you need to tell the goalkeeper where you're going. And if
And he got to guess.
if he blocks it, that's his point. If you go somewhere else, it's his point. You can only get a point if you get it where you say you're gonna get it.
Yeah, that'd be all right, I guess. Or bring back the old school MLS PKs.
Oh, the shootouts. Bring
Yeah, shoot it.
Also, what I would like them to do is East versus West. Forget trying to play teams from abroad. East
Nah,
versus
I like that.
no, because this the first place team overall gets the supporter shield, which means that their division ultimately gets home field advantage.
Oh,
Right?
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. So if you have players from each conference, then they might care a little bit about the game, and you might get something a little bit more competitive. You have the first place Western coach versus the first place Eastern coach. They call up who they think is going to be their best roster, and then you have a complete game, 22 players on each team. Make subs as you want. Obviously, clubs tell their organizer, hey, I only want my player to play 20, 30 minutes, maybe 15, depending on where they're at in their season. But I mean, this also made no sense because you want these players to have a break before they go into Leagues Cup on Friday.
I mean, they didn't play that long though. They played like 15 minutes. But I get what you're saying. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. Yeah, it's
But
like no point to this other than a showcase. But to wrap it up, let me ask you this before we cut this, because I gotta go back to work, my friend. Um, does Arsenal compete for the title this year with their current
yes,
squad?
yes,
Absolutely, yes. Do you think so?
yes, yes. I think
They look good, huh?
they found their most missing pieces, which is scoring. Um,
Do you think Kai Havertz comes in there and gets it done for them?
I don't think he does it single handedly. I just think that Arteta now has a Swiss Army knife, a
Yeah,
complete
he
one.
could. Yeah, he could play. He could play different positions. And what
Yeah,
what about Declan Rice? You think he was a good signing for them?
I think he's a good signing. I think he'll do well. The signing that I would say is I don't want to say it because he's a U.S. player, but Florian Bolanga, I
Mm-hmm.
think he can do very well. I think he can grow at Arsenal given the chance. But I don't know if he has what it takes to be patient.
Yeah. Let me ask you this final question then. Do you think he stays with Arsenal or do you think he leaves?
He
You think
leaves.
he? You think he leaves?
He doesn't have the patience for it. I think he wants to be a starter. I think he doesn't want
Yeah,
to
it makes
sit
sense.
behind Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, which deservedly
And
so should be
Saka,
starting.
yeah. I mean,
Bro,
because he could play the wings as well, but
Saka
you're
was
not gonna.
jogging last night and still
Who
taking
was?
these players. Saka,
Oh yeah, I know. That boy's good though, and got Gabriel Martinelli too.
did
Just
you
amazing, bro.
did you see at the end of the game on the English broadcast, they were like, and now we're gonna hit the field with Saka, and it was Bolanga.
Oh yeah, I think I did see that.
I
Yeah,
was like, what are you hollering, bro?
yeah, yeah.
But
Didn't know. All right, my man. Well, it was a good episode of Nonsense FC. Appreciate the folks watching at home.
yeah, you guys
Like,
get
subscribe, comment,
two back to backs, and
leave us a
hopefully
note. Let us know what you guys want to hear from us as well.
yeah, hit the comments, like, subscribe, share, tell your mama, tell your grandmama. Just get us
Tell
some
everybody.
views. Get us some views. Later.
All right, my man. Peace.